Have you ever felt like God's gone silent? It's like your prayers are hitting a wall and heaven's phone line is disconnected. If you've ever wondered why God feels distant, this is for you. Oh, don't scroll. Subscribe now and walk through this together. You're not alone. We've all been there. Even the giants of faith experience seasons of divine silence. Those moments when it seems like God has stepped away, leaving us in a spiritual desert. The silence can be deafening, can't it? It's in these times that our faith is truly tested, pushed to its limits. Or David, the psalmist king, who penned heart-wrenching words of abandonment. He's preparing us, working behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances we can't yet see. It's like a farmer waiting for seeds to sprout. Just because you see growth doesn't mean nothing's happening underground. Even Jesus, in his darkest hour in Gethsemane, felt the weight of his Father's silence. But here's the thing, you're not the first to feel this way, and you certainly won't be the last. God's written word is a constant, even when his voice seems distant. Find people who will pray with you, cry with you, and remind you of God's promises when you forget. Remember the times when God came through, when his presence was undeniable. Let those memories fuel your faith for the present. Let the Psalms comfort you. Let the Gospels remind you of his love. Let the prophets assure you of his faithfulness. He's still there, still working, still loving you more than you can imagine. Prayer isn't just about getting answers. It's about maintaining a relationship, okay? Just as dawn always follows the darkest night, God's voice will break through again. And when it does, you might find that the silence was preparing you for something beautiful. It's about pouring out your heart, even when you're not sure if anyone's listening. Think about Job, a man who lost everything and cried out to God, only to be met with what seemed like indifference. Let your trust in God's character outweigh your need for immediate answers. From the stone's perspective, the process might seem painful and pointless, but the sculptor sees the masterpiece emerging, one silent strike at a time. Each moment of silence, each unanswered prayer, each day of waiting, they're all part of his perfect design for you. He is good, he is faithful, and he is working, even when you can't see or hear it. Use this silence, not just to speak to God, but to listen. Plus, it gives you something to look back on later, to see how God was moving, even when you couldn't perceive it. Sometimes, in our rush to fill the silence with our own words, we miss the still, small voice trying to break through. But what if I told you that God's silence doesn't always mean his absence? The Bible is full of honest, raw expressions of pain and confusion directed at God. He's big enough to handle your frustration, your anger, your doubt. His silence is not his absence. It's his presence working in ways we can't yet see or understand. Comment below. I'm trusting God through the silence. Let's encourage one another and stand together in faith. Pour it all out to him. He'd rather have your honesty than your polished prayers. His silence is pregnant with purpose, and when he does speak again, oh, what a glorious sound it will be. He was looking for God in the wind, the earthquake, and the fire. May you trust his heart when you can't trace his hand, and may you emerge from this season stronger, deeper, and more in love with the God who's always working, even in the silence. A breakthrough, a miracle, a deeper understanding of who God is and who you are in him. Even in the silence, there are blessings to be counted. Train your eyes to see the good, to recognize God's hand in the small things. It's just a chapter, and often it's the chapter right before the big reveal, the miraculous breakthrough, the deepest encounter with God you've ever had. Gratitude has a way of shifting our perspective and opening our hearts to hear God in new ways. God hears every prayer, catches every tear, and is nearer than you think, even in the silence. But God wasn't in any of those. Instead, he came in a gentle whisper. Sometimes we're so busy looking for God in the big, loud moments that we miss his quiet whispers. Your act of service might just be the answer to someone else's prayer, and in the process, you might find your own spirit refreshed. Will we trust him even when we can't hear him? Will we believe in his goodness even when life feels anything but good? What if, in those quiet moments, he's actually setting the stage for something greater? He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" But that silence preceded the greatest victory in history, the resurrection. You see, often when God seems silent, countless believers throughout history and around the world today are walking through their own seasons of silence. But we walk together, encouraging one another, holding each other up. Sometimes his silence is a test of our faith. Other times, his silence might be a gentle redirection. Maybe we're asking for the wrong things, or perhaps he has a better plan that we can't yet comprehend. So, what do we do in these silent seasons? How do we navigate the quiet? First and foremost, keep praying. Even when it feels like your words are bouncing off the ceiling, don't stop, okay? And while you're at it, dive into scripture. Surround yourself with a community of believers. Sometimes, when we can't hear God's voice, he speaks through the encouragement and wisdom of others. Take time to reflect on past answered prayers, and perhaps, most importantly, trust his timing. God's silence is not his absence. I'm reminded of Elijah on Mount Horeb. Hold on to hope, dear friend. The silence won't last forever. Remember, even Jesus experienced the Father's silence in his moment of greatest need on the cross. Your silence might just be the prelude to your own resurrection moment. So don't give up. Keep seeking, keep knocking, keep asking, and know this, you're not alone in this journey. In these quiet times, let your faith speak louder than your doubts. Think of it like this: a master sculptor doesn't always explain every chisel and hammer blow to the stone. God, the master artist of your life, is doing the same. So what now? How do we practically walk through these silent seasons? Start by setting aside time each day for quiet reflection. Journal your thoughts, your questions, your doubts. Writing can be a powerful way to process your emotions and track your spiritual journey. Serve others. Sometimes, when we're stuck in our own spiritual desert, the best thing we can do is help someone else find water. Practice gratitude. And remember, it's okay to lament. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a word of hope. This silence you're experiencing, it's not the end of your story. So hold on, keep the faith, trust the process. God is with you in the silence, preparing you for what's to come. If you're going through this right now, I invite you to make a declaration of faith. Remember, the God who spoke the universe into existence hasn't run out of words for you. Until then, may you find peace in his presence, even in the quiet.